Welcome to 2020 Pisces. Today I'm going to be doing a 4-part reading for you, just doing an overview of what energies to expect to come floating into your life this year. First, let's just do a general reading. Let's see sort of what the progression is from January through summer, into fall, into winter. Sort of the beginning, the middle, the end. But of course, the cycle begins again next year. Interesting. Ooh, okay. So for 2020, it sort of starts out with you evaluating a situation and really very possibly deciding that you're just going to salvage what you can and keep on moving. Now, what I want to say about that is that sometimes we need to do that in life. Sometimes we look like what we're giving, what we're getting, and we just decide whether or not we should stay or go. Or we're in something we thought was going to go one way and it goes another way. And so we decide to take what we have, learn what we were supposed to learn, and just keep moving. Now, this is not a major arcana card, it's minor, so I believe that this is just one situation. It's not like a huge overall trend. But what this does is if you make the decision to move on from something, you go into this energy, which is a fire energy. You feel freer, and there is an implication that you may feel like you might have been a little bit victimized, but the less you can feel that way and the more you can look to the future, the better. This person is really excited. They've got a bounce in their step, and this is, of course, after this more, heavier energy of really needing to make a decision, and it is the right decision to move even into more unknown territory than staying in something that isn't working. And as we move towards the end of the year, you have an ace. Aces are wonderful for new beginnings. They're wonderful for new projects. This specifically says if you're proactive about a situation, even if it's sort of difficult, do it, because that will lead to success later. So I really feel, Pisces, that this year is about if you have sort of really embodied the element of your sign, which is water, you may have flowed into a situation that you don't even quite know how you got there. And then if you suddenly feel that way, you have to remember that water isn't just water, it's also ice. And you might have to pull up some of that ice to make some boundaries and start moving and flowing where you want to go. So overall, this is positive, it's empowered. So I think this should be an empowering year for you. Now I'm going to be looking at your relationship energies for 2020. And 2020 is a big year astrologically. There's a transit happening, and this is just one of many powerful things happening in the skies this year, but it's called the Great Conjunction. It only happens about once every 19 years. And it really tends to usher in a new era for us on a personal level. And that may be why your reading was about movement into like new territory, right? All right, let's look at relationship. So for those of you who are single, you may have more options more options this year than you have had in a while. There's just several different people coming and going, even for those of you who are in a committed relationship. It looks like it's going to be rather dynamic in terms of juggling the relationship with, let's say, children or in-laws or, your bowling club. I don't know. But it's a year for juggling. It's a year for flexibility for sure. But it's positive. It's not negative. What I will say is if you are in a committed relationship or a family dynamic where you do feel like you have to set boundaries, go ahead and do that. Just do it with love and compassion. You can always say no with compassion, Pisces. Again, pull out that ice rather than flow. And there's no reason to be defensive. You don't owe anybody any explanation for your decisions if you are not hurting them. Again, I have to use the word empowering for this year. So it looks dynamic. Now I'm going to pull a couple cards on career and finance. Oh, look at that. It's the same energy almost exactly as your general reading, and I have shuffled this a lot. This is fascinating. There is just such a message for you this year, Pisces, to really evaluate where you're at in your life. And if it's not where you want to be, especially in terms of career or what you're making in money, let's say you went into some career track and you're just not satisfied. This is literally saying it might be scary, but to make a decision to learn what you're supposed to learn, because you always can take your skill set with you, and jump into this Ace of Swords, which is making a difficult decision, but being proactive, you are definitely going to come out the winner in the long run. I cannot ignore this energy because it has now come up twice for you. So this year is just an excellent year for decision making rather than flowing, okay? But you, of course, make your own decisions. The universe will support you energetically, though, if you do choose to make some transition like that. And last but not least, we're going to see where your luck lies this year. And this is the wild card. I have no idea what's going to come up. Oh, interesting. This energy, so your luck this year will lie in actually doing practical things for magical outcomes. Okay? This is someone who takes care of business that they don't want to take care of. Let's call it adulting. They start getting education. If they want to do something new, they save their money so they can buy what they want later. It's very practical, but the implication is that you will create what your dreams are through practical means in 2020. So again, there's just so much information here, Pisces, about being proactive and making decisions this year in a way you haven't before. But this is very powerful. I would expect you to have a really progressive, forward-moving year this year on all levels, and I wish you Happy New Year.